Hello and welcome. Today I would like to talk about car health in Twisted Metal Black, and how hard difficulty and co-op affect how much health the bots have. The former is something I tested with a couple of my friends in the Twisted Metal Alliance, and I realized I never ended up finishing my studies on that like I wanted. I don't really play Black offline that much anymore since playing online, but before making that transition, I used to play exclusively on hard for years. Most TMB players are aware that hard mode limits your repair station uses to once per level, and makes the AI generally more aggressive. But one less obvious thing hard does, is give the AI more health. It's not really an overwhelming amount, but it's worth noting regardless. To get started, here are the health values of all the cars in the offline version of Black, as well as a demonstration of this. Note that many of them share a max health value with at least one other car, except Junkyard Dog and Minion. Also note that as a player, Minion has 150 hit points, but as a bot, Minion has an extra 100, adding up to 250 hit points. Furthermore, the player's max HP stays as what their car is normally, so you will likely naturally have less health than the bots outside of medium difficulty. The final thing to note is that easy does not affect the health values of bots in any way, so I won't be talking about it. I'll be starting with hard mode since that's what I'm personally most familiar with. When I first began testing this, I first targeted Roadkill, Brimstone, and Crazy 8 because they have 100 hit points normally. So what I did was kill them first and see how much damage it took for them to die. After that, I took the overflow from their normal HP and used the leftover to calculate how much everyone else had. I did this first in all of my tests. Since they died after taking 125 damage, I figured it was a 1.25 times health multiplier, or 25% extra, and I was right. Here are my calculations and footage of them taking that much damage to die. Note that my math says some cars have an HP value that is not a whole number, but considering machine gun bullets don't even do a full point of damage, it makes sense to me. Otherwise, you can round up to the next whole number. What this basically means is that every car on hard is a heavy, or almost one. Even Grim is just a few machine gun bullets shy of being Junkyard Dog's normal HP, while also being generally hard to hit. The one exception to this is the drive-in movie map. For some reason, this multiplier does not work on this map in particular. It works on literally every other map, even the ones that are not normally accessible in single player, but not drive-in. It definitely makes this already very challenging map a little easier, but not that much easier in my opinion. Most people who've played co-op with friends have probably felt a noticeable difference in bot health, or your weapon's damage. Most people I've seen say they have double HP on co-op, or you do half damage. The truth is that you still do full damage, and bots just have an extra 75% HP. For example, watch me hit player 2 Grim with a Scythe and the Spectre bot. Note how player 2 Grim has a bigger chunk ripped out of him than the bot Spectre. And remember, Grim and Spectre normally have 95 HP. Roadkill, Brimstone, and Crazy 8 took 175 damage to kill, so I multiplied every car's HP by 1.75, and here are my findings. This was most likely done because co-op would be too easy otherwise, as the second player effectively doubles the damage the bots are taking, and this offsets this a bit. So you might be asking, what about hard co-op? I'm glad you asked. The answer is very interesting. You might be thinking that they just combined the two multipliers to make a flat double HP for the bots. If this was your guess, you had the same idea as me. Sadly, it means we were both wrong. Bots actually gain more than double HP on hard co-op. Bots actually gain an extra 119% hit points, or a 2.19 multiplier. Why such an oddly specific number? Who knows? but it means that every bot in the game has upwards of 200 hit points. So you and your friend will really need to work together to bring someone down. Here's a list of the gargantuan HP values of every bot in this mode. And yes, you read that right. Minion has an absolutely titanic 547 hit points. An absolutely absurd amount, and that's before you even manage to break his shield. Speaking of which... I've already covered the HP of Minion himself, but for the sake of thoroughness, I have 3 other HP values I wanted to find and share. Those being Minion's front, side, and rear panels, as well as Warhawk and Tanker. Minion's panels have especially bothered me, not because I think they're bad mechanically speaking, but rather because their HP felt random to me. Turns out, they're not random. Each panel actually has its own HP value. Front has 35 HP, the sides have 25 HP, and the rear has 5 HP, which a homing missile would one-shot. The rear panel only having 5 HP sounds so wrong to me, but I can't argue with my evidence. It probably just feels wrong to me because my homing missiles caught his side panels during a turn, and my machine gun bullets were actually hitting his back. It also turns out that Minion's panels' HP do not change on hard. Their HP remains consistent in single player. In co-op, however, they receive a massive HP boost that's flat and different from the normal multiplayer bot cars get. In both medium and hard co-op, Minion's panels become this. Front is 100 HP, and every other side is a whopping 75 hit points. His rear panel is already very hard to hit, but now you need to do 70 extra damage to hit it. You can abuse the fact that he only targets player 2 by having them kite him, while player 1 has easy and near uncontested access to his rear panel. As for Warhawk and Tanker, they're an interesting bunch. I'll start with Tanker because there's more to talk about with him. Everyone knows Tanker has a comically small amount of hit points, but specifically, he normally has 35. This is low enough to get one-hit KO'd by most cars' special weapons, as well as the reticle and satellite skill weapons with enough charge. Axel would be able to one-hit KO him with his alternate special, but Tanker is one of the 4 cars too big to be crushed by the roller ball. Just know that he wouldn't survive it otherwise. Here are how hard and co-op affect Tanker's normal HP. Tanker can have up to 125 HP if you're playing hard co-op, which is more than Junkyard Dog if you're playing as him. As for Warhawk, Warhawk is interesting, again. Turns out that he only has 125 hit points, which feels right. I've always had a feeling that he dies too quickly for a boss. So how much HP does he gain on hard and co-op? That's the neat part. He doesn't. Warhawk is eternally stuck with 125 max HP. He is not affected by the bot health difficulty modifiers. He is the one exception. Even Minion's panels get a health boost in co-op, but Warhawk doesn't. I find it disappointing, but if you hate this boss fight, this is probably a blessing to you. Either way, I find it funny that on hard co-op, he has the same amount of HP as his lackey. So yeah, that's all my findings on this topic. Increasing the bot's health for extra difficulty makes it a little less likely that you quickly combo them to death, but not impossible. It also tilts the health economy a little more in their favor, since you have access to repair stations and will usually get the health pickups more often. Plus, in co-op, it also emphasizes teamwork and focus firing a target if you want to take them down quickly, which I find really cool. I appreciate the extra layer of challenge added, and I think teamwork is just always really fun to coordinate. It makes for a lot of cool moments, like when my girlfriend and I both laid out a double full ret combo on some poor bot and swiftly annihilated them. Who doesn't love some good teamwork? Either way, if you plan on playing hard or co-op, or hard co-op, make sure you take extra ammo into fights if you can. You will need it. Thank you to my friends Arcaether for helping me lab this out a couple years ago, as well as Kilraki for finding the car's normal health and weapon damage numbers in the first place. A link to the stat sheet he wrote up will be linked in the description. But no matter what, I hope you found this information useful or interesting at the very least. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.